right, we're gonna get started again with some PayloadCMS and NextJS. This time, hopefully, there's music playing. So if there's not, please let me know, because I did a whole live stream. I think it was last week where there was no music, but hopefully that turned out okay. So I'm trying to figure out where we left off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the screen. And then, yep, so I can see that we have our to-do, and I have a couple of to-dos here. Plain text converter, don't want to do that right now. Conditional rendering, don't want to do that yet. Or create a readme, don't want to do any of that. So let's take a look. Graphics, new logo test, VT for icon and logo. Don't think I need to do that. Music's a little loud in my ears, so I'm going to turn that down just a hair. Let's see. I think it's actually... There we go. Okay. All right, back to it. So, SEO description. This one needs to accept a target character length param as well. I think I already took care of that. But if not, we'll come back to look at it. And actually, we're not even using this SEO description because we have the SEO field. So let's go back to blocks, content with media. I want to use an image component here, which I am. So we now have the content with media. So when there's an image in the background, it's now not a background image, it is an actual image object. That's something we did last time. Then we can go to FAQs. This error here, I think I need to leave it because what's happening is that it's saying that the input element is possibly null. So that's telling me, well, honestly, I know this because it starts with this value here, which is taken from here. So the value is null starting off, but I don't really have a way around that, so we're just going to ignore it, and hopefully it doesn't fail anything on build, which it shouldn't. Then there's a bunch of errors going on here. I wonder what those are. We'll come back to that, but we're going to stick with the to-dos. We'll come back to the FAQs. I do want to add a feed summary. Well, why don't we just take a look at the front end here real quick. So I'm going to go to terminal, and the project that's up right now is actually not what we're going to do. So I'm just going to do pnvm dev and have this go and load up the front end that we've been working on. All right, so there it is. So we've got our content with media. And then let's make sure that the summary feed looks fine, because I remember I had a note on that one to take a look at. We did indeed. Perfect. So that one is good to go. Table of contents. I believe I took care of this as well. So, oh, I didn't make them into components, but I don't need to. That's taken care of. There we go. Oh Lord, so many to-dos. Primary button component, I did that. So those primary and secondary buttons now have components. I do want to add a loading button, or really not a loading button, don't really need to do that. But we'll want to have loading states for some other objects here. So set up video for embedding. Don't need to worry about that. Nav. All right, so we're gonna need to take care of the CTA here, because when we actually have a contact page, the color is going to disappear. It's gonna blend in with the contact. So we may change what color we use there. That's not the end of the world. And we have our schema, which we're gonna have to clean up that a lot. And then show blocks. All right. So I can close media. What is this error here? Oh, it's in the media. what is this? Okay, so I need this to be, we'll say 640 width by default, 360 height by default. Ugh. I don't know where this is actually going because I have my own media stuff, so I may not actually even need this. I'm just going to delete it, see what happens. Well, let's view usages first. So there, yes. Reference found in code. Import media from media, and this is rich text upload. Which is this being used anywhere? Import rich text upload from upload. Lexical index. I am using it somewhere, so we will need to come back to this, I think. But yeah, so let's take a look here. I think we just need to, build a footer. So I know that for sure. We will get rid of all of these here. I needed that footer, but that's okay. Really, I'm gonna delete it, so either way works. All right, so this is my FAQ items. Oh, I remember one thing that we wanted to do is if I go to the FAQ section right now, the boundaries here just feel a little tight to me, so I want to open that up a little bit. So I'm just going to add probably 20 to the offset height here, which should, on refresh, add a little bit more space there. I could do 40, which is what it was originally before I deleted all of my Tailwind styles, which does make it feel like it has a little bit more room to breathe, but I think 20 is fine here. Cool. So there's that. So our FAQ items are good. Our table of contents, like I said, we didn't need to do anything as a component here, so we're going to get rid of that. Then this is, don't know what this is. Let's go back to our to-dos real quick. So nav, we'll come back to that. Next row blocks, and then we can go to components here. Perfect. All right, so let's start with the footer. So we're gonna come up to this footer here. Select the index, and really everything that's in here should be deleted because there's a lot of old junk in there. I'm even gonna get rid of this here. There's a lot in there that we don't need. So we'll come over to the footer, and then we're going to export function footer. And I think this is actually going to be an async function because it's going to take a global from payload. But for now, we're just going to return a section container that is going to have a content container. Oof. There we go. Which I'm just going to add an H2 just to say hello. And then we'll go to our layout, wherever that is. Layout, re-enable the footer here, but I don't have it as a default anymore. So I need to make it in, I don't even remember what this is called. So there's default and a named export. So set it as a named export, and then if I save and I scroll all the way down, we should get a footer. It just says hello there down at the bottom. All right, so that's a good sign. But obviously we don't want the footer to be the same color as everything else. So we're going to use the section container class name. We'll do classes dot footer section, and we're going to need to come back up to the footer because we have the, well, first import classes from that, and then we're going to go into here and do footer section, and we're going to do a background color of dark primary. So that's going to make the hello disappear. But that's okay, we don't need to see that anymore. All right, so now what we need to do is come here, and we're going to log in because I've got some globals, and I need to know what the global is in order for me to, will this let me log in? Oh wait, it's payload, dev.payload.cms, do test. I don't want to save that because it's very easy, no. So we go to pages, we go to home. Oh, this is actually not where we're going. We're going to global settings, or are we going to footer? So I don't think we have a footer in place yet, but let's go ahead and look at the global settings just real quick to make sure that there's nothing footer related in here. I mean, there's probably a few things that I'd want to use in the footer, like the logo. But then we have, so let's see, we got the nav here. And really this nav is so simple that we may just use this as the same request. So let's go up to our nav, or I guess down to where we would check our navs. So we're gonna get this. We do our footer. We're gonna get our navigation in, and then we're going to, let's just log the response for now so we can see what that looks like. I have an idea of what it's going to look like, but there it is. So there's a couple things that I want to do here. The first is that if it is just a regular link, so anything that's not no link will be a link to somewhere else. If it's a no link, then we will use that as like a header and then have all of its nested links rendered on the front end. So there are a couple things that we want to do here. So first, we want to loop through all links to see if they are links. If they are a link, render as such on the front end. Internal is link. External, if I could spell, is a tag. If they are not a link, render as a header and nest links under header. So this is not something that I've done before, so we're going to see how this goes, and we'll have to see what it looks like also on smaller screen sizes because I'm not quite sure what that's going to entail. So first we can do the easy part where we're going to have our response. Let's take a look at that again. So we can do response. I guess let me move this over a little bit so we can all see. So we'll do, so we can just log, we'll do response.navigation link, and we'll map through that. And then, well, actually, so first we need to filter. So we'll filter, we can just do link type. Link type is equal, or I guess let's do not equal to no link. Or I guess, oh, so let's do link type. So a little messy, but it works. So this will return anything that should be an external or internal link. Oops, don't need to save the terminal. So here we see external and internal links only, and so the no link thing is gone. Now, what we'll want to do from there, we'll see, I want to do this as an if rather. So what we'll want to do is still map it, and we'll do map here we should just be able to do something like link. So when we map this, oh, I'm missing a parenthesis. So everything should be there just as an array rather than an object, which I don't even think this was an object before. Oh, it was. No, it was an array. Okay, so we have navigation link, and we're getting all of the actual links in. And now what we'll do is, let's see. Oops. So we're going to loop through this navigation link. All right, so we're just kind of seeing what the data is going to look like. So for each navigation link, we need to return what the link type is. So if I do that, link type, we'll see what they are. So we're going to map through each link, and then we're just going to start putting this to the front end now. So here we'll say response.navigationLink.map, and we'll do link. And then we'll just for now return a link.linkType. And then of course we need to include our key, which we can do link.id. So if I come here, we'll also need to, I wonder if I can do this at this level, do color. Let's just do white for now, that's fine. Nope, okay. So we'll do nest it so that we can see everything. All right, so we can see we have internal, external, no link, and external times 2 again. So we come down to the footer, and then what we need to do is an if statement inside of the map here. So let's see how that works. So we go here, we say if, I don't even know if I can do this here. I can't. Because it's really easy to just do oh, I'm overthinking the heck out of this. So what we need to do is just a link.linkType is equal to internal. Then we return a link with an href of link dot, I guess link is what it is. Come back to that in just a second. And then we'll do so link for href. I don't think there's actually anything else I needed to add here, but let's just double check. Roll on, click, type of title. No, nothing really to add. Okay, so we see that this is not assignable to URL. So that means I'm reading this data wrong. So when I have an internal, I have a link relation to pages, so I actually need to do a link dot value dot slug. But I need to check type of link dot link does not equal string. And that, and I think I might need to add dot value. type undefined. So it's either that or really. So let's see if any of that worked. So failed to compile for this. Okay. Oh, I need to add, just do this for now. So the one internal should render, which you see there at the bottom. It's a link that says home. So if that's the case, then we need to make sure that if the link value, well, let's do it this way. So if it's that, and the link, well, first actually, let's see here. We'll do equals home. Then we can do the slash. Then if it's not, it should be link.value.slug, which again, we have to do the type of check. Yeah, because this link, well, let's see what happens, because I could do, it either is, link can be page, can also be a post, and I don't think I can do that. But it could also be a string, but it can't be undefined. Okay, so that's not working like I want it to. No biggie. So let's get rid of all of that and just do the type check. Type of link.value does not equal string. All right, so a lot of type checks just to get to that. No biggie. All right. So then it's or blank, so it always has something there. And so now, if I refresh, hopefully. Yep, so now I'm looking down there at the very bottom, which might be hard for you to see, but you can see the local host 3000 there at the bottom, meaning that my excessive checking worked. So I'm gonna go ahead and start breaking this down a little bit because I want this to be a little bit easier to read as we get into more of the ternaries here. So we have our link.link type equals internal, and then we have our proper rendering there at the bottom there. So now we need to do link.link type is equal to external. And so if it is, then we need to return an href with a link should be enough for this one. And then link, we need to do this, link dot name. And let's actually change, just get rid of those errors real quick. Empty string, not assignable to string or empty type. I need to think about that here in a second too. All right, so let's see what we have here. Link type equals external. Up here, I need to change the link to link dot, well, so here we need another type check. So type of link. Let's see if we can do this a different way real quick. So I need this to be link.value.name. Let's see if I can do it right up here. So I don't want to do it up there. So it's fine. All right, so let's do type of link.value does not equal string. And that. Okay, so name isn't the right field. Is it title? It is title. All right, so now we have href, which we have external should not have any of the relation to fields. Okay, so it's link dot external link, which makes sense. So now if I do this, we should see, oh, did it for me already. So we have our home, our portfolio, our about and contact. And so really what we'll end up doing is for any of these external links, they'll become internal links anyway. But that should be taken care of there. Now, the interesting one, in my opinion, is we're going to come down here. And if it is not that, we'll need to do a no link, which should be, we'll say it's a paragraph, and all we're going to do is link dot name. And when we do that, we should see industries pop up. It does break the flow though, because I'm using something that's not inline though. So if we do span, that should put it back inline. And so here though, what we need to do is have the nested links come into play. So what we'll end up doing is probably changing this to a div, have this be a paragraph, and then under that paragraph we will have our link dot nested links dot map, and so we're going to map over these again and do a lot of the same stuff here. So we're going to do, just so we can see what this is going to look like, we can do we'll do a link dot name, oh shoot, nested links, I think it's dot navigation. All right, so we're going to have to actually look at what this field looks like. So we come back up here, and we're just going to do a log. We're going to do response. We do a navigation link. If we look here, we have 1, 2, 3, so it's at index 2. We'll have navigation link, then we'll have nested links, and then we should be able to see what that looks like. And we scroll down, and here are our nested links. So we'll then, so we take our, let's go back up real quick to see the old response. Looking through all of this, and we'll see our no link, and we're taking our link nested links dot map, so that should be working. So we do, I think we do it there. So we have link dot navigation link dot map. Interesting. So if we come down, we can take a look. So yes, we have in our nested link, all right, weird. So link nested links, which then is an array again. So, but I think we can actually just do a 0 there. I think we have to do, oh, not a map. I don't want to do a map there. So from there, we'll do navigation link and map that, which then we need to do that. Oh, geez. Let's just finish this out real quick. Do a paragraph tag here. Hit it with that. So we have 2 links there. Link, and we should be able to do name. And then we have our industries. We still have this though. I need to remember how to do this. Yeah, so that's wrong. I remember seeing a way to do it this way. Is that right? Yes, perfect. Okay. So now we have our div with our nested link. So let's set some classes here real quick. So first, this actually needs to be an A. Well, first we need to check this up here. So there's a little bit going on here. So if we do link type is equal to internal, then, and honestly I'm just going to copy and paste all of this because this is going to be the same, it's just nested now. So we'll take that and hit that, and then let's see what I broke. Everything. So then if it's that, then it should be blank. So now we do this. We have everything linked. That's industry small business, industries real estate. We have our contact, our about, our industries, which is unclickable, and our home and our portfolio. So long-winded way of doing this nested link thing. So we can get rid of that. So we're going to list through, we looped through all links to see if they are links. So great, did that. If they are a link, render as such on the front end. We have our internal rendering as a link, like a next link. Then we have our external as a regular A tag. And then if they're not a link, render as a header and nest links under the header. So now that all of that is done, we can run through here and do some styling. So what we're going to do is with this response, we're going to set an internal container. So I'm going to do classes dot, we'll say nav container here. And then that'll come down. That'll come down. Let's just reformat it. So then anything that is a link here, we can, what can we do? So we can set all of this stuff as we have the footer section, which is the top level section, which is setting the background. We can then, in our nav container, move everything down. So we can do nav container, and then ideally we should be able to do color white here. This is not the color that we want to use, but let's just see if it works. Okay, it works for some things, but not others. Weird. So let's go ahead and just get classes on everything real quick. So we have our nav container, good. So we have our links, which is just going to be every A. So really what we can just do is do anything that's an A and really anything that is P. So that is that taken care of. But also in the nav container, so that's the only nested field that I want to use here. So we're going to display, we're going to do flex. Just to set it explicitly, we're going to do flex direction row, and we'll do flex wrap, and we'll do flex, and we'll do 0. So it's not going to grow, it will shrink, and we'll say, I guess we have 4, so we can do 20, we'll do 25%. And so what we're going to do is we're going to set this as a calc. And we're going to set a gap too, so we're going to subtract the gap as well. So gap 1 rem. So now this should lay it out flat at the bottom, which it does indeed. And so there's some styling things that we need to adjust here as well. So if we can actually set our font size, we'll clamp it between 1 rem and probably too much, 1.2 rem. Then we'll align items center. We'll align items top, actually. That makes more sense. Start. Flex start. There we go. So we're still seeing something a little weird here. So let's take a look at our inspector. And we go inside the section, we go inside the div, and the issue is probably a padding or a margin on the, it's not actually. So let's just see what happens if I do margin 0, nope, padding 0, nope. So interesting. So we will come back to that here in a minute. Let's bring this up just so I can see a little bit more easily. So I wonder if it's a, hold on. Now I'm just stuck on this. So maybe it'll, we're gonna have to, I wonder if I do a line item stretch, if that will fix it. No. All right, so we'll come back to that here in a second, because within the nav container, we have our nested. So we'll do class name, classes.nested. We'll call this nested container. Then we can do classes.nested header. And then for the links, we will nest a field here in our SCSS. So we can go to our, let's see what we should do first. The nested container. And we go here and we're gonna do a display of flex, and we'll do a flex direction of column. We will align items flex start. There's that. We will have our same gap of 1 rem. So I don't actually like that. Probably a little too much. So we can do 0.5 rem. And that looks a little bit better. So now we need to figure out why is this div. So maybe if I set our P here, let's see if I can do it here, just do a span instead. Yeah, so if we set it to a span, so it's in line, do a span, not spam. Let that refresh. Let it hopefully bring me to the bottom. It will not. All right, so now all of this is looking good. We will do a have container. That's a line item, so we need to justify content. We'll do space between. And that takes up the full width here, all the way around. And so that doesn't look terrible for what we're trying to do. So now let's bring in a couple things. So first, underneath all of this, we're just going to do a div that's going to be at the bottom, which is going to be, we'll say a span, and we'll do copyright. I wonder if I can do new date dot now. If date dot now. So I need to remember how to do get year JavaScript because I forgot how to do this. So it should just be date get year, right? Or is it get full year? So I'm still missing something. I'm looking at Gemini here just because it's available. So if I do new date get full year, which is what I thought I was just doing, but guess not. We have our copyright 2024. That is caught in our flex though, so we just need to get it down and out of the way. Then, so we'll do copyright and we can just do, and it'll be codes. There's that. And then we can do our class name, do classes dot copyright. And we can just do, since it'll be the very bottom, we can do our copyright section, which is going to be a color of, let's get this into the actual color. Light primary, we can do the same thing here. Light primary, so turn it into the green rather than the plain white. And so copyright, we can then set a margin top for 1 rem. And then there seems to be some kind of padding here at the bottom. So the padding is from the actual container. We're going to leave that as it is. And so now we are going to set this to a small font size, which I wonder, can I just do smaller and see what happens here? Yeah, that's perfect. And then we should just be able to do text align center. And we need a little bit more margin at the top there. And this static route thing is going to keep popping up and mess with me as I'm working on the footer. Not a big deal. All right, and so now if I wanted to, I could add just a nice little horizontal rule here, which I don't want to add. But I do want to add back here and do light primary and do something that looks a little bit more faded. So not that it's hard to read, but it's definitely different from everything else. So now we need to add our logo. So if I go back to the nav, we're going to take the globals and we're going to try and grab that landscape logo. So again, going to log our globals response so we can see what everything is. And yes, of course, I could be looking at the local or the API within PayloadCMS, but why when I can just do this? So we're going to have our globals dot logos dot landscape logo dot file name is really what I'm looking for here, which I'm looking for most of it. So we will leave this log here so I can more easily see all of what I'm looking for. And we'll put it at the top of everything. So we can do an image object, and our image is going to be our, well, first we'll do, I don't think I have to do that actually. So I can do our globals.logos.landscape logo. So how did I do this before? Well, I had to do it in the nav, right? Oh, so I have a logo object. Okay. So let's change it from an image object to a logo object. So what we can do then is do globals.logos.landscape logo. Okay, so that's not working either. Though if I look over here, the logo will pop up. And so here we actually want to use a white logo anyway, so we'll replace that in a moment. So, and honestly, we're going to shrink that down quite a bit. So we see that the image is doing the right thing. So maybe I just need to do type of does not equal a string. Yeah, I don't know why this error is still here. Type undefined is not assignable to type logo object type. So go to logo object. So I don't want to do this, but if I do that, it still doesn't allow it. So it can't be undefined, which I get. So maybe I'm overthinking this again. So logo, I think I am. So if we do logo, so let's get rid of all of this again, and then take this, put all of that in here. Okay, very confusing. I'm just going to do an image object and do this my way. So get rid of that. And then I should just be able to do but I don't have an image because I want to do const image equals that. So if I do image equals image, still says here that type undefined is not assignable to type image object. So type null now, but it won't be null. Ugh, this drives me crazy. Type of image is not equal null. So now if I come here and add types, now where is it? Image object, add null. Oof. So we'll get rid of that. We get the image. So, well now, dang it, man. Get rid of all of these. Ooh. Oh. Oh, I am confused. Here, I need to restart the server. I don't know what I just did. So now I'll refresh. Where is this? All right, an image object. I need to refresh because I keep getting that key error. Okay, so I was getting the image. This is driving me crazy. So if I do this, then it breaks. So let's do logo object. And logo object has image as a required attribute. So what if I do the spread operator there? And so there's the image, still getting this TypeScript error. Okay. Rid of that, and this is the type. String media null, undefined is not assignable to type, undefined is not assignable to image object. So if I do now, type of all of this does not equal string, and then all of that. Still nothing. So we come here, we do our globals dot logos dot landscape logo, and then here we'll do type of all of that. It's not equal string. Globals dot logos dot landscape logo. So I really don't understand why type undefined is not assignable to logo object type. Okay, so I wonder then. Logo object type. All right, well, bottom line is I'm getting the image, and that's what I want to do right now. So we're going to add a class name. We'll do classes.logo. So this is going to be at the top because it's, well, almost the top. And we'll do logo, and we'll do display flex probably, justify content, flex start, nope, start. And we'll do, well, I wonder, hold on. So if I go up here to our logo, classes logo, now, so let's see what this does. So if we do logo, get rid of all of that. Then here, get all this logo stuff here. Okay, that's fine. So we're not doing square logo. We're going to change all of that to our landscape logo. Let that do its thing. So now we don't have an error. Great. But we also don't have any classes attached to this. It's not the end of the world. But I was expecting it to have something. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so I don't think that class is doing anything though. So we're gonna come and we're gonna do this number here, do class logo, and then do class name, and then logo, and then class name is string. We'll do class name there. Then we can go up here and do class name classes dot logo. Width is right there. I see it on logo object type. Oof. Logo, and then can I do okay. Drives me crazy. So we have logo. And then I want to add class name to logo object type, but it will not let me. So what I just need to do in that case, Overthinking everything here. All right, so now I can pass up class name. So I thought. So there it is on class name. And then we need to come here. Well, no, not here. So if we go to logo, logo. There we go. We take this, we take our class's logo, and go over here to our nav, and can do logo. Let's see if that fixes this top one. So it does not fix the top logo. So I guess, oh, let's go here, do our logo, and then have it be for the link in there. I don't understand anything. Here, so that even shouldn't need to be used. Okay, so that's good. Passes down to the logo, which is showing up. But for some reason, we're not seeing any class name. Just do test to see if anything shows up. Test undefined, okay. So it does show up, but this does not pass down. So what is happening here? So if we look at this, we have our nav, we have our logo here sending a class name in all of these fields to the image. The logo, which is the logo object type, which is sending a class name down. So if I come back up here to logo, this is not expecting any other type, but it is expecting a class name. So I think I just need to leave this alone. And so there we have that. We can get rid of all of this. We can get rid of that class name. We can go here, that needs to stay. Here on types, don't need a class name on this, because there's no way to pass it down apparently. All right, so then if we go to our footer, we've got our logo. The problem is that this is huge, and we don't want it to be huge. So we can't use a class name, but we can use image object. Then we can do globals.logos.landscape logo. Okay, let's set type of all of that not equal to string globals.logos.landscape logo dot all right, here's an idea. So I need all of that data. So what I can do is do const, do an image equals then an image, which is going to have a width, which is going to be all of this. Or 640. And then we'll need a height or 360. Then we'll need alt description, which may be an empty string. Then we also need, what do we need? So if this is image object type, need the file name. And then ID if we want it, but I don't think we need it. So then we can just do image. What's missing? So image, and then I guess a second level of image is needed. Guess not. So if we do image as image, then we're good. All right. So now though, I do want the creator to be included in this. So let's see if it is. Do you have this? I guess it just had to figure out the different data types. Okay, so there is the, it looks like there's the creator data, and it is from I don't know if it's the right one, but anyway, so we're gonna come here, we're gonna do a class name, we'll do classes.logo. So in the footer, we have loco, which is what this is driving me, not what it actually is. We got our logo, and then we have, we'll do a width of, we'll say like 4 rem, and do a height of auto. Okay, not quite what I was looking for. So if we do our flex, we can do, we'll do 1, we'll do like 50%. Okay, again, not working like I want it to. 20%. Oh, okay, so it's the parent element that needs, I need flex on the parent element here. So let's do this. We'll add a div around it, and we'll do class name classes.logo container. And then set our logo container to display flex. And then, wait. So don't want it to grow. Logo container, go to our logo. So nothing's working like I want it to today. I swear I'm okay at this. Anyway, so let's do something like just a width 10 rem then. Okay. Still a little small, but let's go ahead and do our margin bottom. Nope, 1 rem. Perfect. And then we can replace that with a white logo so it actually shows up well. But let's do a little bit wider. Yeah, so it looks better. Add a little bit more spacing to the bottom. Whoa, not 21. That's not what I want. There we go. And then if we expand, nothing happens, and that's fine with me. So all that looks good right now. And then we can come down over to our uploads. Let's go to, what do we got here? I'm gonna load up our global settings, our landscape logo. We are going to, do I have the white one in here? I don't. So we're gonna create new. We'll select a file, and we'll do the web design images. There they are. And we'll just pick a fully white one. There we go. We can take that one. Hit save. Oh, that's for the dark mode. Whoops. So while that would still work, we can just choose from existing and use the one that we just used. Then when I refresh, shows up as white, which is perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. So cool. We got the footer done and working how we want it to. We do want to make this industries look a little bit different. Otherwise, people may be able to think that they can click on it. So we know that we have this as a span, and all future ones will also be a span. So we can do color. We'll do our light primary 70. We'll do text decoration underline. And so that makes it look a little less clickable, honestly. And so we'll also do pointer events none. So when it's hovered over, nothing happens. So you can still select it, but nothing else will happen there. And so what we may want to do then is at smaller screen sizes, change, we'll want to change to row, I think, at a larger screen size. So what we can do is we'll say include medium small break, flex direction row. But before that, we have our flex direction column. And so also with this then, we'll do our nested container, and we'll do a background color of, let's say, like maybe the light secondary color with a color, the dark primary, and a padding. Yeah, 0.5 rem should be plenty. So here, we just need everything inside to be that color. And then also we can actually include rounded. So we want our variables to pop on over here. So let's see if I have to drop an important here. I do. I think that's cool with me, and so we'll do just a little bit of a wider rem on the only on the right though. So we can do 0.5 rem and then 0 on the left. Need to do a little bit. So we can do 0.5 and 1. Okay, so I don't love having to use important, and I'm not actually sure why I'm having to use it there. Not a big deal though. So now let's actually get this also centered. Sorry, not that one. We want to get everything centered, so flex, justify, center. This one, center. Okay, still not working like I want it to. I got that. Oh, that's the logo container, that's why. Okay, so the footer section then, not what I'm looking for. Flex direction column, justify, so this actually should stay the same, and then I can do a line items center, and that should get it centered if I do it right. There we go. And then, so same thing here, line items center. So that's a bit more appropriate for a mobile navigation menu. And then we can add a little bit of padding to these to make them a little bit easier to click on. So we don't want that though. Well, honestly not terrible on this screen size, but I don't think it's necessary. They should be very easily clicked on even with a thumb. I just don't want to ruin how this looks. All right, so then we open up a little bit. We can go then to our medium small break, which let's actually set it to small, which should be this here. Perfect. And so yes, flex direction should go to row. Justify content, space between is already there, but align items top, or flex start. And then here we can do our small, or include small break. Do color inherit. And then set our background color to also inherit. Color, I guess we can just set this back to light primary. I guess we have to use important again. I don't know why. It's not really what I want either, so that's right. So again, I don't really know why this needs to be important when I'm, maybe if I unset. Okay, whatever, just set it back to primary important, and then we will also line items, flex start. Or actually, we could probably leave that centered. Yeah, that looks better. All right, cool. So I think this is a good place to stop. We have our footer in place with our links and our logo and all this. That looks good to me. And what that means then is, and I'm actually going to write it down this time, what we need to work on next is we are in our pages and our slug. We will need, oh, it's just redundant. Okay. Actually, we can check here to see if we have all of our metadata here at the top. And it does look like we do. Test description, perfect. So our metadata is set. We've got schema working here for us. And all of that is in, why am I ignoring this? Params promise. That's fine. We'll leave the any type there. All right, so then we have all of this good to go then, which means we can work on the blog. Just make sure the summary block doesn't look terrible still. All right, so let's take a think here. So we have our logo and a footer, and all that's good to go. Then we have the metadata all set with some schema, which we will need to come back and still add some more, but we'll worry about that in a little bit. And then from there, we can work on the blog, and then we can actually start building out some of these pages. So I think what we'll do, oh wait, we need to work on a hero section. So here, let's do this. To do, we need the hero section. Then we will build out a couple pages. And then we will, after that, build out the blog. And then once we finish all of that, we will work on schema to make sure that works. All right. And then we'll be done with this template, I think. So thanks everyone for hanging out for a little bit here to go over all of this code. Hopefully you learned something. I know I got frustrated with a few things here, but that's what coding is all about, am I right? So if you liked this though, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, get notifications, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.